Hello everybody, welcome to Swimming with Nature. It's been a while since the last video, so with the snow flying outside and the cold, I figured I'd get back here in the shop and get this little project done. Now, this is a dulcimer, if you're not familiar with it. It's an old instrument and I've kind of gravitated toward it, and it's easy to play for me. I like the sound of it, and it's easy to pack around. So did have some damage on it. I got it off eBay for like 50 bucks, so not bad. But like I said, a little damage down here. Got to make some new pegs. Keys are a little sloppy on it, so I'm gonna check that out. But other than that, it's solid. We got a black walnut fretboard and the head of it. I can still see the mill marks. We're going to have to do a little bit of sanding, but it's not going to take as much work as my other projects. A nice little quick one, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing it. So, sit back and relax, and let's just see what we got here. Alright, so we're going to start with this. This is like the only real damage. And this is a laminate, and looks like it probably got the snag sitting down. So we're going to try to repair that. Probably some epoxy. And it looks like at one point it's been taped, so we're going to have to sand that. And then other than that, the fretboard looks good on it. The nut looks a little wore down here, so we'll check into that. I got a piece broke off the end. Probably had the strings too close to the end and it pulled off. This is a 4-string dulcimer. So you got the 2 upper strings, and then the bottom 2 are really close together, but they're tuned the same as a DAD. And so you can, you play 2 strings. It adds the harmony to it. And I really like the sound. So first things first, let's see if we can get this fixed. Okay, so what I've decided to do, I'm just going to cut that piece off. It's like I said, it's a laminate, and the underneath is gone. So I'm just going to go from corner to corner. A nice little mark. Take my handy dandy little hacksaw. And then we're just going to cut that off. Nice and straight. It's easy to work with them straight lines. Them crooked lines take a lot of work. We got that off. We got a little bit of corner damage here we're going to fix. I like these hacksaws on this wood because it takes small bites. It doesn't gouge into the wood. Gives you something to work with. So what I found is I have this old piece of wood lath. I'm just going to take a piece off of this, and we're going to glue it on that, sand it down. Sounds easy enough, don't it? So let's do that next. Alright, this is what we got. Oop, they don't, alright. Yeah, not a bad fit. Alright, let's get this glued on, and then we'll keep moving on. Alright, we're going to take a little sandpaper and rough down these edges. Nothing crazy. Okay, now let's glue her down. Work a little glue down into this split section here, just to reinforce it. These dulcimers, okay. These dulcimers, like this one in particular, it's made out of laminate. It's a very flexible wood and real easy to use. It's a very light instrument, so the laminate was a good choice, and I can understand why they would use that. It's not sturdy per se as like a hardwood. There is a little bit of a sound difference, but they were made cheaply, and be one of them gifts like your Auntie M would give you for Christmas that you see maybe once a year. Alright, so that's a fit. Alright, let's get this clamped down, and then we'll let her set for a little bit. You don't want to get too crazy on clamp pressure because you squeeze your glue out. You want a little glue to move, that way you know it's set. But you squeeze all your glue out, you're defeating your purpose. So that's kind of necessary. Alright, so we're going to leave that set for now. And then we'll come back and sand that down, and we'll be moving on. The sand part is like middle ground. Alright, well, that glue's set. I'm gonna go ahead and get these old strings off of here and check out the keys. I know they need tightened up a little bit. Yeah, this thing's probably seen a lot of use though. It's really neat. I've not seen this particular design, so I don't know how old it is. The finish is old, I can see that. Probably the boiled linseed oil. It's definitely not polyurethane, but I like that. It's got a small design on the holes, which I can show later, the sound holes. And I don't know if it's a mass manufacturer. That's what I keep looking at, trying to decide. You know how they have like First Act? This would be a version of First Act, maybe. You can't really say that. Okay, so we're going to get these old strings off, take a look at the keys a little better. They seem loose, but we'll see. The nut down here looks like it might need some work. I'm trying to figure out the string lines that they got in there, because these two seem really close. These two not so much, but we'll figure that out. There we go. Well, that string's been on there a while. It's actually like pulled in to the nut. The bridge, and it's just going to need a little bit of work, that's all. Like I said, the nut, I'll try to get it here. That's the nut. So it seems to be alright. Got a little piece broke off, but that appears to be black walnut. That wouldn't be too much to fix, because you can see it. This piece is just set in there, so we can knock that off and put a new piece in if we desire. So here's the bridge on it, and it's pretty simple. It's just a small wedge of wood, and the strings laid on top of it. Appears to be alright. It's wore quite a bit, so we might just go ahead and make a new one, because we're in the shop and it's a cold, snowy day. That seems like a good reason to make a new one. Alright, so I found me a nice piece of oak. You can see the green pattern runs this way, so we're going to be able to set them strings right on top of that green pattern. And the thickness is pretty close. What I'm needing now is just a width. There's going to be a lot of handwork on this one, but it's a snowy day in Indiana, and we got all kinds of time for that. So my method of exact measurements here, I should be able to get a job with NASA with this. Alright, so we'll cut that out. We're going to have to do a little contouring on it. It's going to have to be a bevel. So let's see what we can do with that. So this was a square. I went from corner to corner, and now I got to flatten this part of it. So that's what I'm doing. And that'll give him the peak, and then that'll give him a place for the strings to rest. So we're going to continue doing this. This is one of the things where you got to go baby steps on it, because getting aggressive is not going to pay at this point. Just back and forth. Like I said, the file, it's a good hard surface. It doesn't flex, and that way I know this is going to come out flat and not bowed or whatever. So I'll continue working on this, and we're pretty close. Okay, so here's what we started out with. You can see it's pretty worn. I'm not sure if the string grooves are where they need to be. And this is what we finished up with. I got a hard piece of oak, and we'll be able to set in the string grooves. It's too early in the morning for this. And then I think it's going to hold up a lot better. So that's a lot of work. Don't let it fool you. My fingers are getting sore. But a lot of sharp corners on there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at the nut of it. This is the bridge. We're going to look at the nut now and see maybe there needs to be something done with that. So, like I said, this is another piece of black walnut. It'll probably just pop off. And then I'm thinking I'd like to put another piece of oak down here. It'd stand out a lot better. If I had some bone, I'd put a piece of bone in there. That'd hold up pretty good. So let's see if we can get this out in one piece. Okay, well, it came out. Let's clean it up a little bit. Put that to the side. We'll get this cleaned up and then we'll continue on. It sounds like the roosters are waking up. So while I've been working on this nut and this bridge, I've had the other hand into this clamped and glued and just letting that set. So that's kind of been my game plan. Yeah, here's my saw. We're going to go a little bit wider on this one. It's always easier to take the wood off than it is to put it on. Okay, so here's the finished piece. What we're going to do is we're going to glue this on, and then I'll be able to get the depth, the height, I guess I should say. We'll get the height set and the depths of the strings at that point. You got a nice fit on the end here though. So we're going to go ahead and glue that in place and proceed on, because that's just what I do, right? This oak turned out to be a really nice collar. It's like a dark grain to it. I don't see that very often, and I'm a fan of that. It's going to go pretty well with the rest of this wood. As far as this neck goes, I don't know if I want to sand that or not. I'm probably just going to clean it up. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit now. Back to the file, the metal file, because it takes off just small pieces. All I want to do is clean that wood up. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so this head, probably the next thing, I'll take these keys out, and I can still see the mill marks in the wood. So we'll sand that down. I'm not a fan of that point. We might round that off, make that a little gentler, a little more gentle. Try to get these pieces to contour a little better and blend in. We've got a nice ridge here, so probably try to get that to blend in a little bit. Like I said, round that point off. That just seems dangerous. And then sand the head, and then I guess all we're going to do to that. So them screws that I tightened, we're now going to take out. Makes sense, don't it? Okay, so now we got to cut the grooves for the strings, because we put this new nut on. We're going to go 1/4 inch from the outside. That'll be the first string. 1/4 inch from that. The bottom will be that string. We're going to give it about 3/16 of an inch for our second string. That's close. Okay, and then our gap 3/4, so we're going to go 5/8 on our center string. Okay, so that lays out our string pattern then, and all we got to do now is cut our grooves, and we'll be able to go to the bridge then and get that set in. Okay, we're going back to the axle now, and we're just going to make real small grooves. We're not going to cut deep into this because that defeats the purpose of having it to start with. We just have to score them line marks, and that'll give us something for the strings to set in. They don't have to be deep, just enough to secure them strings. So there we are. Okay, So now we're going to turn ourselves, put the bridge in next. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to take the bridge and we're going to line it up with a nut, like so. And we're going to be able to transfer our string lines to it. And that way it's going to be even. Alright, so we got that. Set to the side. The pins, this is what held the loops of the strings, and they're kind of deformed and bent. So what I decided to do is I had these on hand. These are actually pins for an axle on a project that I'd made, a little truck. I had them left over, so they're going to work out real well. And they will go just in these holes. So we're going to need to get those fit, and then I think that's going to do it then. Then we're ready to put strings on after that. It's getting better. Okay, there's that. That's turned out pretty good. Alright, put some strings on it. We're about done with this one. Okay, one final thing that I do need to do. This bridge can move, so I'm going to find a location and I'm going to just inset it, give it something to hold itself, and that's not going to be a hard process. We're just going to take the square, I'm going to put it at the end where the form of the sides come together. So, alright, now we're just going to take that little piece out, and hopefully that's going to do it. Seems easy enough, don't it? If I can find my other tool. I got so many tools scattered around this bit. Yeah. Now, okay, so there we go. Now we just got to put the strings on. That sounds easy enough. Probably not going to be. Nothing's ever the way it sounds. So I'm going to get these strings put on, and I will show you the loop part. These Dulcimer strings, they come with a loop on the end of them, and you can put those over the pegs, and then they string along just like that. So I'm going to get this strung up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm just going to put my markers in, and this helps with finding my notes. Need all the help I can get. I'm just using some copper nails that I picked up at Lowe's. I had another project I was doing, these were left over, so they seem quite fitting for this project. There we go. It has some antiqueness to it there. Okay, so now for the ultimate test, to really know the quality of instrument that you have and how it's going to function. You got to put some skin dirt on it. So here we go. We got a winner. Okay, so I now own a fully functioning and operational dulcimer, and I'm pretty thrilled about that. I don't know that I won't be going on tour next week with it, but we'll see how that goes. This project's done. The next one is probably going to be a muzzleloader, because I got like 5 muzzleloader projects I gotta get done and get out, and they're going to happen really quick. So not to load you down with muzzleloader shop projects, but that's what I got. The weather's going to start warming up hopefully next month, and we can start getting out. I've been asked to do a survival fishing segment, and that's going to happen. So I've got everything nailed down on that I need to, other than the warm weather and the fish. I can only do so much. But that's what's coming up. A lot of projects for this summer, spring and summer, and hopefully get out on that kayak some more. So I'm Gary, Smooth Nature. Thank you for watching.